And we are back, folks, with another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider. We could have just done offensive linemen, and that would have been the weekend, because Michigan went heavy, literally, this weekend when it came to recruiting, and it should be no surprise with the number of offensive line coaches on the staff that they made offensive line a priority the first week of spring practice. And another one of the top linemen in the country joins me here on the set, Mr. Breck Kolojay, IMG Academy. Breck, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on. Blessed to be in this position, so thank you for having me on the show.
Hey, man, thank you for joining us
sir.
and giving us an opportunity to sit down and chat with you. Let's start off first, like we have with all the other guys, with reflections upon the season. Just talk to us about how things went for you on the gridiron last year.
As a team, we lost 2 games. IMG Academy, we have a standard, and, we didn't play up to that standard. And, as a vet and a leader, it's disappointing. You try to look back, but all you can really do is look forward and, work on the little things. So I feel like, we all have these, face this adversity, and all it does is give us opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I like to say adversity gives us opportunity. And, this offseason we've been grinding, so I'm really excited to, see what's going to happen next year. And I know we're going to go 12-0, and, the goal is to win a national championship. So,
one of the things, and normally we get a chance to really explore a lot of different aspects of your guys' recruiting journey when we have a lot more time on set. But one of the things I didn't get to ask some of your teammates is the decision to go to IMG. That's a big decision. Like, even before you go to college, what led you to IMG, Brett?
I've been there for 2.5 years. So I've been there for a long time. After my 9th grade year in Colorado, I balled out. The opportunity came, and it's an opportunity where it's kind of, for me, it's impossible to say no to. As a competitor, as a person that wants to just get better every day, it's impossible to say no, because you're surrounded by the best players in the nation, and you get to face them every single day. So something like that just really, I was kind of starstruck, and I'm like, I need to be at IMG, So, like right when I got there, I was facing Jaden Jackson and David Stone, who are, doing extremely well at Oklahoma right now. And, those are the best football players I've ever played against, and, it just made me better. Mm-hmm. So I think, a big thing is iron sharpens iron, and that's truly the reason why I came to IMG and, play on that national schedule.
Right, and so as you've been there, where would you say, and that's been over the course of years now, but let's just look over the past year and narrow it down to that. Where would you say your game grew the most over the past year?
Oh, yeah, definitely in the run game. My sophomore season, I was a little lighter. I think pass pro has always been really good for me, and run game too, but, I kind of mastered there's so much techniques that's involved with the position of offensive line. And, for me, like this season, I got way stronger in the weight room, and, my run game was better. I always want to work on my hip flexibility, because that's something that can improve, because when you have really good hips, you're more powerful, explosive, and you can sustain blocks longer. So, my run game was fantastic. And just for me, I'm a student of the game, so I'm always learning. All the guys know that, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to the film stuff and, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
I got you. All right, so obviously things go well for you on the football field. That means things go well for you in recruiting. So how many offers?
I have 39 offers.
39 offers, so you go anywhere you want. When you get 39 offers, though, begs the question, how do you begin to narrow the scope of a field that big?
Yeah, for me, it's hard right now, because this is the part where, all eyes are on the 26th class. I kind of narrowed it down to a top 12, but some schools don't even care about that top 12. They just told me, like, that does not matter to us at all. So, right now this spring's really important, because I get to visit a lot of these schools and kind of just, like, see what it's like, and, really sit down with my family. Like, I have a whole spreadsheet on Google Sheets. You have to go through every single pro and con of the school, because every school is going to have the weight room, amazing staff. They're always going to wine and dine you, treat you like family. You got to dive deep and really find, like you just have to look deeper into everything. So it's very difficult, but, I'm in the process of doing that now.
Okay. So I'm going to see if you will if you will indulge me
Yeah.
and go into the pro and con list for Michigan.
Oh.
As you, now that you've seen it, right? And maybe we'll just do it for, maybe we'll just do the pros. Maybe I don't know if you want to share the cons, but now that you've been on a visit here, what would you say the pros of the visit are?
Yeah, I've been here this is my third time here. This is my first time with my dad, so that's huge that he got to see that. The pros, I mean, this place has probably one of the most elite cultures I've ever seen in any school. You know, just the history and everything they have here is elite. And you know, every school is a lot of schools are going to have facilities, but I feel like the people inside the room and the people around campus and the area is fantastic. So it's just one of those places where, like, it's going to play a huge factor in my recruitment. And you know, it's kind of hard to find the cons if you know what I'm saying. So.
Gotcha. So it's one of the things that I said to the other guys that have been on set. I mean, especially offensive line. There's so many offensive line coaches here.
Yeah.
Starting off with Sherrone Moore. So, what are your thoughts? What are your impressions of Coach Moore?
Oh yeah, I mean he's been recruiting me since he was an offensive line coach. So before he was a head coach. So you know that's huge. And you know me and Coach Moore have a fantastic relationship. You know he's always tight with the Colorado boys. Me and Drake Nugent are from the same town, and obviously he was a major factor at center for that national championship team. And you know me and Coach Moore always keeps it real with me. And you know we can joke around, but yeah, he's a real coach, and I respect him for what he does. And you know I see the future and how he's leading this team. You know, to be a dominant team and compete for national championships again.
All right, and then of course the offensive line coach now, Coach Newsom. What
yeah,
about him?
Man, I love Coach Newsom. He's down to earth guy. He coaches hard, and you can really tell he loves his job. He loves what he does. You know, he's told me his story. He's had a crazy story, and you know, it's really unfortunate and you hate to see it, but like he takes his passion for the game and you know he uses it on his coaching, and he loves his players too, which I really respect about him. And yeah, he's as real as it gets.
Okay, and then a unique thing about Michigan when I say they have so many offensive line coaches.
Yeah.
So then you got Juan Castillo who comes in with that huge NFL resume. You got Brett Ingles who was offensive line coach for the Saints when they won the Super Bowl. You got all this offensive line acumen in the building. Did you get exposure? Have you gotten exposure to those guys too?
Oh yeah, I mean, Coach Castillo has been recruiting me when he was at UCLA, and I think he is the most technical coach I've ever seen. Like, he knows the ins and outs of everything. So, you know, just talking ball with him is really fantastic. And, you know, today was the first chance I got to meet him in person. So, yeah, he was recruiting me at UCLA, and he came here. I'm like, oh, snap, that's awesome, because Michigan's a huge school in my recruitment. So just seeing him and seeing how he interacts with the players like Caden and a couple of older guys, how he does those he always does training sessions with them and always makes sure they know what they're doing all the time.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
So now you look around, that's the offensive line aspect of it, but they have to have someone pushing the buttons. So
Yeah.
there's a new offensive coordinator in town, in Chip Lindsey. Have you gotten a chance to interact with him much?
I haven't really got a chance to interact with him. I'll probably do it tomorrow. I have meetings tomorrow, so I said what's up to him, but yeah, I'll have a better chance to talk to him tomorrow.
I got you. All right, so now as you draw away, you say it's hard to find many cons, but there have to be some questions. Would it be about Coach Lindsey? Like, what would be your biggest questions about Michigan at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen them play yet. You know, last year I know they struggled in some parts of the season, which is understandable with a new head coach. But yeah, I mean, as of now, like when I see them this season, because I'm gonna take my official visit during the season, I'm looking forward to that, watching them play. Honestly.
I got you. So as far as the remainder of the spring is concerned, what other stops do you have on the docket?
I'm going to USC April 19th, and Texas April 26th, and then Oklahoma April 12th. Yeah, and then Miami next weekend.
Yeah, so you got a who's who.
Yeah,
you got a who's who of Power Four, you know, elites.
Yep.
That dot your list when you get ready to pick that final school, that final destination, if you will. What's going to separate the wheat from the chaff? What's going to make that one school be it?
That's a good question, and it's hard to say because all these schools have amazing things. So at the end of the day, I think just how the players interact, and then obviously elite culture. I know everyone says culture, but like it's actually a huge thing, and it plays huge factors in my recruitment, and nowadays NIL too. So.
Yeah, so how does the NIL, that's one thing that there's so much to talk about, but the NIL presentations obviously vary. Some can be elaborate and talk about opportunities that they expose you to. Others are just blunt, bottom line, here's how much. I mean, how do you assess that? And how big of a factor will that be amongst all the other factors that you consider?
Every school kind of does it different. I just see everything with an open mind, listen to everyone, and down the road when I commit mid-fall, when it's right, it's right. So, it definitely nowadays will play a factor in my recruitment. So that's just all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I look at it this way. Here's what I mean. You can come at it with, hey, I have opportunities that could create an environment where you can earn millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Or I could put 12 Lamborghinis in front of you.
Yeah.
Like those are different pitches. Is there one that appeals to you more than the other?
Opportunity. And some Lamborghinis too. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't really know yet. But yeah, but that's all I gotta say.
That was great. All right, well, it was one of those things, man, where it's gonna be interesting to see how things unfold down the line. But Breck, it's been a pleasure, man. Good luck. I would ask you what game, but it's like every game for you guys.
Yeah.
Every game is a big game for you guys. So good luck the rest of the way, and can't wait to see you this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Breck Kolojay,
Yes, sir.
Another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider.